time is over. Both team player return to team bench area, please, right now.
好，来到季后赛，全新的音乐，也希望大家拿起今天的应援折扇，跟着节拍动一动。 Let's go！
比赛要开始喽，赶快回座位坐好。
放下你的手机平板，准备看我秀。
所有支持台湾篮球、支持台北富邦勇士的球迷朋友，大家晚安，大家好！欢迎大家在今天5月22号星期一的晚上，各位准时下班、准时下课，就是为了一起来支持台北富邦勇士的一点掌声！谢谢大家在今天。 一结束自己的行程之后，就来到球场，我们准备要来完成我们今天一起努力要来完成的第2件事情。正所谓一步一脚印，我们一起稳扎稳打，一起来将我们的所有的力量借给勇士。在这边要提醒大家，记得先换上我们穿着一样的应援白 T， 才可以团结在一起。不要小看你自己一个人的力量，我们全部聚集起来，积少成多，那会非常厉害。所以也请大家赶快换上你的衣服，拿起今天的应援折扇，将我们所有的力量。 还有最重要的喊声，我们将我们的声音一起加油给我们的台北富邦勇士。而在今天的赛前呢，这一次的系列赛非常感谢富邦投信提供给各位这么棒精彩的观赛体验。那么也要请大家好好享受，毫不保留，因为我们在第1回合的系列赛没有要再回来，你说对不对？ 很好，接下来今天就让我们一起来享受精彩的比赛。之前一样，拿起你的折扇，一起来掌声欢迎富邦 Angel。 再次掌声送给富邦 Angel。
现在介绍双方球员登录名单。首先介绍客队桃园璞园领航员，球衣背号00号陈玉瑞，背号1号丁恩迪，6号关达佑，15号陈冠全，21号陈立焕，25号林正，27号张镇阳，69号卢俊祥。先发球员 starting by 背号4号中锋 number 4艾尔斯，12号后卫李家康，13号前锋 number 13桑尼，22号前锋黄宏汉，30号后卫白耀成。总教练 head coach Camilos， 助理教练迪亚哥，助理教练兼球员发展总监杨怡峰，助理教练黄启峰，数据分析师柯焕维，技术教练唐伟杰，体能教练刘连杰，防护师彭丽珍，防护员吴云凯，总经理陈信安。球迷朋友们，迈向连霸的路上，有你们的支持，加上我们的努力，才能抵达最终目的地。只有我们是唯一能挑战3连霸的冠军队伍。全队始终如一，拼命奋战，誓言拿下第一 ，Only one goal。全力冲向唯一目标，挑战 P.LEAGUE 史无前例的3连霸，打造独一无二的勇士王朝。
对我们来说，赢球就是我们的文化。
富邦勇士也完成了在 P.LEAGUE 的2连霸。
面对的是季后赛，是不可输的比赛，是要团结，你就会有强大的心，可以去战胜一切。富邦每一个球员都是可以为团队做出一些贡献。
We gotta play with some pride because we're the best team in Taiwan.
真的首先要暴扣了，给祥军就对了，手部扣的是对祥军，蔡成再拿到转身的跳投球，忙过来，受到石伯恩的弯腰跟底下投进了3分球。目标3连霸，台北富邦勇士的球迷们准备好了吗？现在介绍地主队台北富邦勇士球员登录名单，让我听到你们的尖叫声。首先欢迎勇士吉祥物皮尔，球员出场背号0号后卫3线一哥南洋小跑车赖廷恩。背号8号前锋勇士队鲑鱼 Number 8周桂宇，球衣背号11号后卫3分冷箭锋芒内敛 KJ 洪凯杰， 背号13号大前锋我梦林梦雪。背号14号小前锋奇妙老爹本土洋将队长蔡文成。背号15号本土中锋禁区魔兽基比谢宗荣。背号23号大前锋 Number 23勇士队 Jordan Smart 石伯恩。背号24号后卫敢拼敢打 TJ 简廷照。And now the starting five， 下面介绍先发5人。球衣背号3号得分后卫 Number 3 Chen 海线领袖台湾分射机张宗宪。背号32号 Number 32勇士队联霸主力中锋小夫塞瑟夫 Igor Zaitsev。背号21号中锋 Number 21酷帅高冷曾祥军。背号17号 Number 17德州传奇 Championship Michael Michael Singletary。最后出场的是球衣背号12号小前锋勇士队精神领袖永远的人气王野兽林志杰。总教练还coach许晋哲，助理教练胡永仁，江志镇林伟浩魏维，体能教练郑维娟，防护师林武章，助理防护师彭玉明，翻译梁兆轩，领队 Chris 蔡成儒。双方球队最后热身。
好的，在球员最后热身的时间呢，也邀请所有的勇士伙伴们拿起今天给各位的应援折扇。我们再次一起来在赛前为各位复习一下，今天要一起团结的为勇士来加油。也再一次有请 Angus 来到场中。好，再次的为各位教学怎么样使用今天的日式应援折扇。首先你会拿到一片比较扁扁的，记得先将它前方、下方往内凹，还有一个折线，把它往内折，捏一捏，折一折，会比较好使用。接下来就有一个地方可以当做握把了，对不对？前面把它按一下，按一下，才有一点空间，可以让里面的隔板发出声音。接下来要记得，我们不是打平面哦，是打垂直的，打手掌会比较大声。然后干扰的时候，左右摇动就会很大声了。这样大家会用了吗？如果没声音的话，记得按一下前面，让它打开有空间。也记得不是上下摇，要前后摇才有声音。来，请大家疯狂的摇，听一下自己的声音，非常好听，很棒。都学会了之后，我们就准备来复习一下，来到勇士主场。最熟悉、最经典的加油口号 ，Let's go 富邦！准备跟着我们的声音一起拍5下，一起来 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士。谢谢大家。接下来，我们一起来。当你听到在比赛过程中听到 “Go Go Taipei” 的时候，
从 side up 一切的共鸣就成了 hash。加速的世界也就像百老汇，每个 U turn 对着水，空气它稀薄像盐水，氧气刺激每一条神经。Body Mary， 吸引力法则的效应让我觉得很犀利，承受每个银河系就像电影星际效应。I don't wanna talk shit， you think it's funny？Get time is money。B.O.G， 我是汗水的燃烧我的战役。Oh my B.O.G， 把我每分每秒掌握在我手里。Oh my B.O.G， 每台机像离火币，就让上不再送到底。分秒必争，撑下去，谁输赢看为定。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. One last game in the opening week of the Plus League playoffs. The road teams are still seeking the first win, while the higher seeded teams are showing off their poise. On a Monday night, it's the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots against the Taipei Fubon Braves. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Darren Portell on the English broadcast. Darren, yesterday we had it a little bit tighter in the third quarter, where the Dreamers maybe gave the Kings a sweat, but the better defense won out, and that'll be a theme tonight as well.
Yeah, the Pilots are going to have to think back like they played earlier in the season and really bring that defensive front out again. They were known towards the beginning of the season to have a strong defense, and so they need to play again like that.
On the Mandarin broadcast, it's Chen Ziwei and Mark 田宏奎。球迷朋友们，你找到了官方的英文转播，看紫薇跟奎哥的讲评，当然就按照中文的转播连接。谢谢您的收看，记得 Plus E 的转播都要按赞。Now, most people will focus on the offense as the Pilots showed off their inexperience. They only scored 76 in most of these players' first playoff run, while really a lot of the times they were missing their defensive assignments. That goes for the imports and the locals, and the two-time defending Braves really stayed the course and took game one, which kind of in a snarky way we could say they've not been great at in their Plus League playoff history, that of course they have the 2 rings to show it off.
Yeah, you know, the Braves are really going to have to continue playing hard, and the Pilots are going to have to, man, they're going to have to step it up a notch. And we saw the other night that they were missing, like you said, their defensive assignments and missing shots, and so they really need to get back to the basics and play fundamental
所在的位置就是勇士的主场，万众一心，勇士出任务的地方啦。你只要完成1架的平衡挑战，就有机会可以获得像这样 Tommy 赞助的托特包，还有环保杯以及手机挂绳。那另外呢，进到主场哦，你会获得了一个就是这样勇士的应援 T 是万字的哦。那另外呢，还会有这样的日式加油棒，赶快进场替你喜欢的球队来加油吧！继续将焦点回到比赛场上。
Joey explaining that there's more handouts here at the home of the Braves, including the Japanese-style cheering fans, though we should say modified cheering fans. Anyways, last night we mentioned the Dreamers put up a good fight, but the Kings tightened up on defense, so that series is 2-0 before it heads down to Taichung starting on Thursday night. Well, the Pilots want to avoid going down 2-0 before heading home. The player interviewed pregame is first overall draft pick, rookie Zhang Zhengya, who hit 3 threes in game 1.
我觉得应该是享受比较多，压力一定是会有，但是我自己是觉得说，因为我不是主角，我算是配角，又是菜鸟的角色，对我来说反而不会有压力。我唯一想要做的事就是能够在防守上面多帮助团队一点，守住一球。然后进攻就是把我自己的能力展现出来，就这样而已。然后真正决定战局的，就是交给徐阳他们去做。然后我就在季后赛里面去吸收我该学的东西。就是因为刚到职业赛场上面，然后一切对我来说都很新鲜。然后尤其是新的位置上面，对我来说都是很多需要学的东西。所以 可能就是在很多事情上面可能会比较笨拙一点，或是大家都会觉得说，哎，你状元怎么不应该要再拿出更多一点的实力来？但是我想要说的是，我每一场的比赛都全力做我自己，然后我知道我还有很多需要学，但是一切都是在路上。我不管大家怎么看，我只知道我现在在做对的事情，然后一步一步慢慢来。对我来说，慢慢的去进步总比快的去展现自己，但是没有那么专精，反而是更不好的事情。所以我 on my way。
Zhang Zhenya, or his Aboriginal name, Amayal, sharing that he's actually enjoyed this entire first season, including his playoff debut, saying there's pressure there for sure, but he sees himself as a role player and as a rookie, so want to help on defense and show what he can do on the offense, including, of course, that beautiful three-point shot, but left the vets on the team and determine the results of the game, while on the other side, Zhen Xiangjun was a player
其实没有想过，因为其实可是也可能因为很多可能前辈就可能有杰哥啊、陈哥、宪哥他们，就是也有在旁边可能经验的分享，就是让自己可以汲取更多养分，然后帮助自己打得更好这样。我觉得就是还是帮球队巩固好禁区，然后可以进攻，也可以帮球队分担一点可能得分的点，然后就是也要冲击可能就是往3连霸的目标去前进。其实还好，我觉得就是平常心，就是以球队的胜利为第一优先这样。
And Zhen Xiangjun, in his third season, played 35 minutes in the start on Saturday night, 14 points and 5 rebounds. He shared that never thought about being one of the main guys for the team, but learning a lot from the veterans, not thinking about too much about scoring, but hold down the middle of the court, the paint area, and then see where he can score. So funny that the production chose 2 younger players to feature in the pregame interview, as experience is definitely something we talked about in the first game, and now we're talking about here with this broadcast. The regular season was one thing where the Pilots were even on top of the standings for a short period, but over the course of the entire season, and certainly in the first playoff game, experience seems to be played an important role.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that come into, being able to endure an entire season, and now they've come down and they're in the playoffs. The pressure's on. There's a lot of expectations from them, and so just being able to handle that pressure. And so right now, I feel like the Braves have really stepped up with their experience, and the Pilots, they're going to have to. Those veterans are going to have to get in there and really encourage those younger guys to step up and play like they know they're capable of playing.
And that'll be even more difficult in a sense, because the Pilots having Si Jingyao in game 1, but out for today's game, replaced by number 00 Chen Yurui, as Ayao is dealing with a number of nagging injuries. And so they'll try to see themselves better on the defensive end for sure. The other changes, Sonny Sakakini in for Jason Washburn here, featured with the bucket hat. The Pilots have rotated all 3 imports a lot, and we'll talk about the selection during the broadcast. Chen Hong will be the crew chief for tonight's officiating staff as we bring you the starters. With the Pilots is Jeff Ayers next to Sonny Sakakini, Huang Honghan, Jackie Lee Jiakong, and Ethan Bayao. The same local set for the 2 imports, and the same thing for the Braves. In fact, all 5 of them the same starters as last time. Zhen Xiangjun, here is Zaisev, Beast, Lin Zijie, Michael Singletary, and Jet, Zhang Zongxi. Now the note about Sonny is, of course, the second to last game of his regular season. Poured in 41 points right here at Heping Gymnasium on an impressive 76% true shooting. The Pilots only ever win here at Heping Gymnasium in the 3-year history. And one of the bigger notes, too, is he was with Coach Caminos last year on the Taichung Suns as they made it to their league finals. So the 2 of them have worked together quite a bit, and it was almost kind of curious how he wasn't tabbed for the first game of the series.
Yeah, he has the experience, especially with his coach, and so, we know he's capable of scoring and even passing and getting some other accomplishments done on the court. And so it'll be interesting to see how he comes out tonight and is able to use his talents to help the Pilots hopefully win.
The Pilots will be in their orange pinstripe jersey, and the Braves switching over to their black Taipei jerseys. There's the whistle and the tip, won by Ayers over to rookie point guard Ethan Bayalthood. Pilots finally setting up their motion offense on one side as the pass deflected by Zaitsev. He and Singletary have been with the Braves all 3 seasons of the Plus League. Now to Ayers, out to Sonny, and a little bit of a trip, and it'll be the first foul of the game, though. A lot of confusion on the Braves side as to the exact violation that happened. A little bit of a trip there.
The Braves came out and looked like it was in a little bit of a matchup zone or a setback man, and so they were guarding the paint, not really allowing that penetration into the lane.
They definitely doubled whenever the imports had a post-up opportunity early in game 1 of the series, as Sonny had that one swatted out of bounds.
It's good to see Sonny start off being aggressive and taking that ball to the basket and drawing a throw in for the Pilots and give them another chance to get a scoring opportunity.
Only 4 seconds left to Jackie. Lee Jiakong, he'll try from 3, but it's off as Ayers, offensive board, saving it just back in bounds, so a second chance for the Pilots. Jackie given a step, but it's down to Sonny, doubled again. The fadeaway off the side of the backboard as Beast will bring it down for the Braves, their first offensive possession.
Interested to see how the Pilots come out defensively. See if they're able to maintain that intensity that we've known that they played in the beginning of the season.
A couple missed threes by the Braves, but the rebounding is lacking for the Pilots. So they give up 2 and then a foul. Not a good start, as we talked about. They only scored 76, but they were missing all kinds of defensive assignments, and you don't want to be giving up rebounds and loose balls.
Yeah, you've got to be able to communicate on that defensive side and know where your man is and be in the right spot at all times. There were several occasions that even starting out like on an inbounds play that the man was not in correct position, and so being sure of your assignment before the play is really, really an important part.
CGS lines up another 3, but again, it's strong. Talk about Braves and their rotation and how much they'll play their veterans. That'll be something to look out for. Ayers hit too early and starts this game off with a swish.
Ayers is known to be a good three-point shooter, so they're definitely going to have to come out and not give him so much space on that shot.
He and Washburn eventually pulled off 41% from the field, 11 of 27, as Jet misses the fadeaway. So again, the Pilots, they did jump out to an early lead in the first game. They need to sustain it, though. Ayers lines up another one, but that one's halfway down and out.
Well, they're being able to sustain it. That's important when you think about the locals being able to maintain and do their part the whole 48 minutes of the game. And so they cannot take a timeout or a time away from and just sort of like not be into the game.
The early whistle as Sakakini was making a move, but it sounds like it's going to be a turnover. Guarded by Zheng Xiangjun. That hands going backwards is probably what the referee saw.
Elbow to the face, maybe.
The other way we go, it's Zaitsev post up on Sakakini, old opponent from the SBL days. Now the Pilots will run their offense. Jump pass by Ethan, but the Braves stay matched up as Sakakini gets Jet on the ground, and a tripping foul, it looks like. Jet's got to do a better job staying in front of an import big like Sakakini.
On that
Maybe
play,
a little bit of a push.
A little bit. On that play, both bigs were playing out, and Zaitsev was allowing him to stay in the lane and not have to move so much. And so it'd be interesting to see if they maintain that with both bigs out, or one in the post and one out. When Washburn is in there, he's usually the one posting up.
As Jackie hits on the inbound. Lee Jiakong, in his third year as a pro, had no points in his start. 0 for 6 from the field, already much better tonight. Singletary mid-range, and gets the lucky bounce.
It was a nice look by Singletary on that 15-foot jumper. And as you said, the home court bounce.
Stepping out of bounds, another turnover.
You know, turnovers like that, you really got to be careful of. You cannot continue to make silly mistakes like that, especially when you're down 1-0 already. Just a simple making sure that you're inbounds when you receive the pass.
Zaitsev will line up a 3. That one's in and out. Say the Pilots are a little bit lucky with these missed shots. They're leaving them wide open. Sakakini, that's a brick.
Their team is really shooting well right now.
He takes it right back, and a little 2-on-2. Gets the roll this time. So a little bit of luck continuing for the Pilots. Starting 3 for 8, forcing the Braves to 1 for 8, but Michael Singletary gets it right back.
They are staying back on defense and not really putting a lot of pressure on the shooters. And so they're going to have to get up in the face of those shooters and really put some pressure on them.
Hunt probing, then passing. Little driving kick to Sonny as nobody else is involved in the offense. Ethan jumps the pass and a little shovel to Hunt for another fast break layup by the Pilots.
That was a smart play right there. They knew they had the numbers, and they were able to draw that defensive man over towards the dribbler, and he was able to get the pass in.
Chen Xiangjun hit a 3 in the first game. It can't do so here. They'll leave Chen Xiangjun open, one of the candidates for most improved players, mostly on his improved offensive game. 9 seconds left on the shot clock as Han tries to step back in Michael Singletary's face. Long rebound right to the Pilots. Calling for a high screener roll. Jackie left open. The scoop layup is in. Lee Jiakong having a good start to the game.
The help side defense for the Braves was just not quick enough to get over there and stop the penetration, and so he was able to get that layup.
Little double jet. A jet trying to make a move on Ethan, forced into a miss. That is a spot they want to attack. Ethan is not the sturdiest defender, and Jet as a much taller point guard. The spot they attacked early in the last game. Sakakini finally hands it off. Now Ethan working on Chen Xiangjun, but a good defensive possession and a 3-second violation. Looked like it could have been on him or Sonny there.
Yeah, one of the two.
First stoppage, while the Pilots grab the early lead here in Game 2 up against the Braves. We'll be right back.
有卖水摊位来领取哦。今天也欢迎尽量小子来为勇士加油，跟着比尔做动作。来喽，这位美女比尔，第一个动作，看一下大荧幕哦。好，很好，秀出你的二头肌，为勇士加油，谢谢。妹妹换你喽，跟比尔比个爱心。 送给董事长，欢迎董事长来跟着比尔一起开个花，谢谢董事长。
fun character here at Heping Gymnasium. Thanks for joining our broadcast. Be sure to leave a like. Pilots once again in 2 games of this series, both starting off strong, but unlike the first game, Jackie Lee Jiakong is the recipient of an open jumper and a layup in transition. Just the overall effort is definitely something that really not give any excuses for, especially a young team like the Pilots. Most of their guys trying to experience the playoffs for the first time. And we do need to mention, without Shi Jingyao, captain and a 3-year player of the Pilots, he's out with basically rest or injury. So the rest of the team has definitely got to pick up the slack in terms of loose balls or defensive rotations. No excuses against the Braves, who are loaded with experience on their side.
Yeah, when you watch him, he's always amidst the play, and he's always there defensively, and so somebody's gonna have to step in and take that role that he's missing.
Right away, Michael Singletary hits the open 3. It's the second one for him on the game. He's only missed 1 Braves playoff game in their history as a team, as Zheng Xiangjun called for the foul, kind of trying to body up Ayers. Meanwhile, his buddy and Igor Zaisev has 10 playoff games. They've played 9 of them together.
And I think he was the MVP of the playoffs last year, was he not?
Was the MVP of the finals, 2 straight seasons.
So we know that he can come and he can play when it's needed.
Nobody checks as Jackie gets the easy lay-in on the inbounds. It looks like Beast is taking responsibility for that one. Little 3-man game right up top for the Braves as Zaisev driving, putting up a layup, and will go to the line.
That was a good take by Zaitsev, him knowing that he's got the advantage over Ayers, a little bit quicker than Ayers, and so he was able to take that left-handed drive and got the foul.
Ayers will go off for some rest as the previous play, Beast. A little 12-on-12 defense, number 12 that is, but Jackie shaking free as Amby will take Ayers' spot on the floor. He and Singletary had a little bit of a dust-up toward the later parts of the first game. Zaisev sinks the first free throw. Chris Johnson, the 3rd import for the Braves, still waiting for his chance to make his Plus League playoff debut. He's a candidate for import of the year during the regular season as Zaisev misses with the second one.
So in order to be the import of the year, do they have to play in a certain amount of games, or what is the qualification for that?
It's at least 2/3 of the season, or in this case, 27 games. Justin Wu Jingxiang, his first stat of the game, stepping out of bounds. And for a team that's played here 8 times, they've already stepped out of bounds on the same sideline twice. KJ checks in for the Braves.
Again, those silly turnovers just need to be taken care of and not be a little bit more aware of where you are on the court.
Zaisev penetrates and passes out. Now it's Jet's turn, and he'll get a foul out of it as a couple Pilots are trying to get there for the stop. See again, him driving and taking some contact from Ethan.
A little bit of the body from Ethan. Might have been a clean block, but I think he might have got him with the body on the way up.
Slowly but surely, the Braves will be shooting free throws for the rest of the way. Jet averaging 10 points per game. The shooting from the field has not been a standout for his 3rd season. The MVP all the way back in the first season of the Plus League. Still a defensive stalwart for the Braves, and that's a big reason why he's often tapped for the start. As against the Pilots, they don't have exactly quote-unquote a small import.
As the Pilots are up by 2, they're going to have to maintain an intensity and not let those silly turnovers, take over the game for them, because they seem to go in runs where they will get ahead and then they'll make a couple plays and silly turnovers, and allow the opposing team to get back into the game. And so they're going to have to really maintain a level of intensity throughout this entire 48 minutes.
It's tough to play defense when they commit a loose ball foul and send the Braves to the free throw line. As Amdi, fresh in the game, fouls, trying to go for the offensive board. But Chen Xiangju misses the first free throw. Amdi and Mayao both out of Zhengzi University, where the commentator on the Mandarin broadcast, Zhengzi Wei, is the head coach. And we're told some of the championship squad from this last academic school year will be in attendance, so look out for that. Pilots running their motion offense. Justin now settling with the dribble. Pass between two Pilots as 3 seconds on the clock. Jackie fumbling, stumbling, and there will finally be a foul, and the basket will count. Pretty incredible play, and probably a little bit too much effort by Michael Singletary there. It looks like he's the one who committed the foul.
Yeah, it looked like a broken play that was sort of, Jackie was just trying to find a way to get that ball released before the shot clock went up. And luckily Mike went for the block and was able to knock Jackie over on the shot.
When we talk about how important it is to have a little bit of luck, especially for the road team, well, I think that might be the accumulation. Now the referees will give it a look to double check if it was before or after the shot clock, and the key here is when the shot gets thrown up, more so than the foul. Now if the foul comes before the light comes on, then it will be counted as well. So that's actually kind of a complicated play for the referees at the replay monitor, though granted the maintenance on the 2 shot clocks and the lights on both ends of the floor should be much improved over our first season, where they had the infamous Amigo three-pointer made on the end of the buzzer. When we talk about Si Jingyao not being available for this game, he did have quite a bit of struggles to end the season. He made 28 straight starts before 6 games coming off the bench. In his last 3 games in particular, you see PJ there, former Brave, was in attendance in their first playoff game. Si Jingyao, 16 total minutes played, only 11 points, 4 for 18 from the field. And particularly against the Braves back on May 7th on a Sunday was minus 22 on the game, along with some of his other veteran teammates. So almost like a well-deserved, maybe mental break for Si Jingyao, though it's kind of incredible for it to come around during the playoffs.
Yeah, it does sound like he needed a mental break, and unfortunately it is in the second game of the playoff, but maybe he'll be able to come back for this 3rd game in Taoyuan and be able to be productive for his team.
Be a little bit more of a break. And the referees communicate to the MC that the basket will count and will come with a bonus free throw too. Li Jiakong has so far been the star for the Pilots. Already on the game, a perfect 4 for 4 from 2. And only the 1 missed 3, so that's definitely an area that he and the Pilot staff want to see improve this playoffs and of course into the future of his career. This free throw coming up. Finally ready to go after a little extended stoppage there for the replay. Brendan Smart inbounds it for the Braves as some of the second units for Coach Roger are in. KJ there in the corner, Josh running the point. Singletary guarded by Jackie as Zaitsev screens. Trying to go with power, and there's a whistle early. Looks like everybody's all right, but it'll be free throws for Singletary. Something that we pondered before the game is maybe if they would consider putting Sakakini to guard Michael Singletary, but Caminos is going to stick with a local on him. Starting in the starting lineup particular is going to be Jackie, but later it could be number 22 Hong Han, it could be Mael, number 27 later.
Yeah, we'll just see how well they're able to contain him. So far he has 9 points, and so they've not done a tremendous job, but he is a strong player and he can take advantage of a less experienced person guarding him.
Jackie again with possession. Passes out of it as they look Andy's way on the block, guarded by Brendan Smart. Both those players, international students, as Smart, a little tripping foul. You know, because of the Pilots' offensive set, especially in motion, going baseline is definitely a rarity. So, if anything, Smart kind of committed a scouting report, kind of correct play. Right. And of course, they went away from it. There'll be free throws for Ethan Bayelson. He rolls in the free throw. He was also 0 for the first game of the series. So he did have 6 assists and only 2 turnovers.
We're definitely going to have to see a scoring increase from the locals over the first game. There was not a lot of input from the locals on the scoring aspect, and so other than Justin stepping up with his 20.
They did miss a lot of threes as Zaitsev, nice ball movement, Josh to KJ, but they're going to continue to work. A wild left-handed hook shot as another chance for the Braves. Justin jumps the pass and he's got 2 to beat. Goes to the other side and another foul by Smart. And he's getting a lot of early playing time, but it looks like Brendan Smart is yet to really get in the flow of things.
Yeah, he had a turnover there, and then he came back down and committed the foul against Justin, which is going to put him on the free throw line for 2 shots.
He played 13.5 minutes in the first game of the series. He's a 3-year vet with the Braves. In fact, played a huge role in fourth quarters the past 3 years in the regular season and on the occasion in the playoffs too, as Justin Lujinshan sinking his first free throw. As mentioned, 20 points, 1 of 10 shooting the 3, so we can give him credit for finding alternative ways to score the basketball.
Yeah, he was being a little bit more creative, but the 1 for 10, he's going to have to improve on those 3-point shots. Only imagine how many points he'd have. You know, he could have had 35, he'd make 50% of his 3-point shots. And so, you know, those missed shots, they really hurt you in the long run. And so being smart and taking the wise shot also.
But Jackie and Ethan getting on the scoreboard in the first quarter much better than their offers. And the other game is Singletary gets it up before Andy's help comes over. And so he's kind of been the only bright spot for the Braves.
Yeah, just hoping that the Pilots can continue this intensity and keep the lead. They played well in the first quarter of the first game and weren't able to maintain that lead. So
Sonny clutching and scoring. And so the Pilots continue to build on this early lead. They only led by 1, as you pointed out, by 2, excuse me, after the first quarter. So it would benefit them to create as much distance and separation as they can. TJ Giantintal now running the point, a early horn set air ball by Singletary. Ununderstandable that maybe his legs are kind of leaving them, having to shoulder so much of the offensive load in the first quarter.
Right, it might be time to give him a little rest before the second quarter starts.
There's some of the Dunza University players. On screen on the left is Ling Li, on the right is Pauian. And then sitting in front of them, you've seen him a lot at the Plus League arenas, is Jiang Dong. Illegal screen, they say. And crucially, Sonny Sakakini, 2 turnovers. And Caminos realizing Sakakini kind of hot, don't want him to get a specialty foul, and possibly get suspended from future competition.
No, it's smart that he maintains his composure right now.
Get another look. He certainly wasn't doing very much, but the screen, you can't say is all that set, as he even took a little bit of a hop. So definitely a tough thing to take if you're Sakakini, but kind of understandable if you're the refs, because that is not a set up an established screen.
No, like you said, he did take a little bit of a leap forward to maintain that or to stop that momentum. And one foot was in the air and the other one was down on the ground, so it definitely was a foul.
Singletary going right away inside and getting Mayao to commit the foul. 4 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2, and 1 for 3 at the line.
So we see Pauian in the game early today, so he's going to have to come in and we have a foul on Hamdi.
Trying to body you or Zaitsev, and as it stands right now, the Pilots, according to the referees, aren't playing all that cleanly. So the Pilot staff giving an earful to the officials as see how awkwardly both players went down, but Zaitsev didn't put up much resistance on his part.
I don't know if that was, I would call that a foul. That was just Hamdi getting low and boxing him out, but it was a good, maybe a good acting job on Zaitsev's part.
He makes the Pilots pay with 2 free throws. As Chen maybe doing some market research.
Holding the crowd, see what they think.
Justin launches a deep 3 and just so happens to bounce out of bounds. Pauian is the first to touch it. Don't think he'll get credited with a turnover there.
Now those threes, when they come down from the front of the rim, they're hard to judge and grab sometimes. You don't expect them to be such a quick downward force off that rim, and just Pauian wasn't ready.
Chen Xiangjun in for the last minute of the quarter. Singletary open, then spinning, passing to KJ. His shot is up and 2 bounces but out. Crucial for the Pilots to regain momentum. All local lineup, as there'll be a foul first, but that'll be 2 free throws.
This is an important possession here for especially in the first quarter for the Pilots, like you said, with all locals in the game and just being able to maintain this lead and not let the Braves come back and tie it up before the end of the first quarter.
Josh and Singletary, good buds from the very first time they were teammates 3 years ago. Singletary shared the funny story where actually the teammate to keep him in line is not the veterans like Beast or like Winston or like Jed or even like the landlord Zenwending the first 2 years. It's actually Josh who will, this is direct quote, tell him to shut up when he's not focused on the game.
Sometimes it takes a younger voice to be able to speak truth into a situation. But it's nice of Mike to be able to admit that he does listen to him every once in a while.
TJ will try the deep 3 himself, but it's off iron as the Braves now look like the team who are playing the road game with unfamiliar rims.
Yeah, the Pilots have been fortunate that the Braves have not been hitting consistently, and so it's enabled them to maintain this lead and just play smart basketball.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Justin lines up the 3. That one's in and out. 3 seconds left as the Braves go full court. Josh getting the lay-in on the beautiful down court assist. Really good, you could say, 5-point swing right there for the Braves. We end the first quarter with the Pilots again jumping out to a lead. We have have 3 more quarters to go here at the home of the defending champs. Plus League playoff action will continue after these messages.
再一次双手献给勇士。One, two, three, here we go！ 掌声送给富邦 Angels 以及比尔，谢谢大家。
Welcome back to the broadcast. Plus League playoff merch ready to go. Spend 1,000 NT or more and have your shipping covered. 23-19 in the early goings. Yesterday, the lowest scoring quarter for the Braves was actually the third quarter, when they scored 14.
Yeah, the Pilots came out and they played a strong first quarter, and you know, they hope to maintain that and maintain this lead. That giving up the last couple points that they did in the quarter can be a momentum change for the Braves, and so they really have to buckle down now and make sure that the Braves don't take that momentum away from the Pilots.
It's Jeffrey Ayers in for the Pilots as Lai Ting-en passes off to Chen Xiangjun, but still missing with his jump shot. Offensive rebound of Josh over to Singletary. Again, through the wall of Pilots defender, Chen Xiangjun scores the close one. So the Pilots lead is down to 2 as Pong will get a early touch, but a wayward pass right into the almost waiting hands of Lai Ting-en. Justin going baseline, clutching in the face of Michael Singletary, and fortunately the Pilots commit a loose ball foul on the rebound.
So these are the little mistakes that the Pilots need to not do, especially at this point of the game. They have a lead and they start to make some silly shots or have some turnovers, and so before you know it, the Braves will be up, and the Pilots will be doing everything they can to get back into the game.
Leave Zysep wide open, and another missed 3 for Big Z. On the game, here's Zysep. Has been over from the outside. Pauian was backing down, now faces up. Pretty stale Pilots offense as Ayers tries the fadeaway, and it bounces in.
A nice little touch by Ayers on the pull-up jump shot.
Only played 7 minutes in the first quarter as the Pilots right now giving a zone look. Pauian, the middle rover. Jokoi on the flare screen, he hits.
They're gonna have to get up on them outside shooters, especially with they had playing 4 out and 1 in. They're looking to rotate that ball quick and get that open shot.
Johnson, yeah, got that one tapped. They'll say it'll stay with the Pilots, but Chen Xiangjun with a nice hands.
We'll see if the Braves are able to bring up the intensity on the defensive end and cause a little bit more chaos among the Pilots and cause them to have some turnovers here early in the second period.
Quick inbound play for Justin, who hits it off the side of the backboard. Pong goes right to the hoop, but he misses. Lots of offensive rebounding for both teams as the Braves get settled into their half-court offense. Zhouguo will try the long two. So the Pilots during the regular season want to be the best team defending the paint, and they are so far, but again, giving up some open outside looks for the Braves.
At some point, you're giving up threes, and it'd almost be better to give up a well-defended two than an easy shot three, an open shot three. And so you're gonna have to make some adjustments to keep those threes, keep the Braves from shooting those threes.
Well, Pong goes to the basket and will be fouled by Chen Xiangjun. On the game, the Pilots are 6 for 7 shooting at the line. Chen Xiangjun will head to the bench for Brandon Smart. They do have veteran Ling Mengxue and Xie Zonglong, who came over from the SBL. Pong misses the first free throw. He only played 7 minutes of the first game of the series.
Yeah, so him and Sonny, they both should have some fresh legs without not playing much. Well, Sonny didn't play the first game at all, but Pong didn't play much the first game. So you might be seeing more playing time out of Pong today, especially if Sonny cannot keep his temper under check.
And now Zaitsev trying to get bodied up with Ayers. And Ayers not happy about the rebounding play, then some of that hand fighting going the way of the Pilots.
There's a lot of discussion between each team also on those hard fouls. And, hopefully cooler heads will prevail in all of these situations and they'll just focus on the game and keep playing hard.
All kinds of risky dribbling now. Kind of trapped as Zhouguo pokes it free. And Michael Singletary flung ahead. Ayers would be lucky if he doesn't get called for it unsportsmanlike, but in any case, the Braves defense, like you said, turning it up, and the Pilots are paying the price, and especially in the fast break, the Braves will have a big advantage. But in that particular case, it might be a U just for the uncontested open look, as Ayers now has some words with the Braves bench. The referee's going to be letting both teams go without any additional calls coming over.
At times, Ayers can be quick to temper, and so the Braves know that, and so they could be playing mind games with him as well, and just trying to get him and Sonny at the same time upset. Sonny seems to be the one that's trying to calm him down now, which is a positive. But the assistant coach shouldn't be talking to the player like that.
Well, as it stands right now, it'll be a warning for both benches. So like we say, don't want to issue fouls in these playoff games early, but now they've both been warned. And in fact, maybe benefit to the Pilots, it would be a sideline and a bounce. They give up an open three to Smart, though. He's off target, but again, a loose ball for the Braves. Liking in, the shortest player on the court, jumping in there. Pilots quickly switch back to man as Zaitsev airmails the pass. So get a little bit lucky again, but their luck is starting to kind of getting feeling is running out when the Braves start to turn up their defense.
Yeah, we'll see if the Braves continue to bring that intense D on the opposite end, really causing havoc with the Pilots. They're not really able to handle that intensity, and so it's causing a lot of turnovers and bad shots.
So what do? They bring in their rookie point guard, who's known to help push the pace. Down low to Ayers, double comes quick. Justin, little driving kick. Ayers will fire the three short, and he chases down his own board on the ricochet. Justin with Zaitsev guarding, goes to the other side, but leaves the layup. And here come the Braves. Josh, little jump pass to Z. Smart left open from the top, again is missed, and Zaitsev will be called for another foul. This time going for the rebound, Sakakini, the man underneath.
Both teams are going to be in foul trouble if this continues. That is for sure. Is that Zaitsev's third foul?
It's kind of similar to what happened with Andy. Just kind of catches the guy just exactly at the wrong moment. Whether they're maybe don't have their muscles engaged or they're not exactly in their stance. So you could say unlucky, but really that has to be called a foul.
Right.
Because you're creating a disadvantage for your opponent. Non-legal contact, but we'll got one more break and the rest of the first half after this. Another look at Jiangdong singing in front of the NCCU Championship Griffins squad. As we see some professional baseball players sitting up high. Hey, that's unfair treatment. The Lions players have to sit up in the stands while some Rakuten monkeys get to sit courtside.
So I guess showing some favoritism, huh?
But all jokes aside, the serious matter is the play on the court. It's only a one-point game, but this quarter has really ground down to a halt with the intensity really and physicality, we should say, ratcheted up.
Yeah, the Braves have brought the physicality, but then you know, the Pilots have sort of like brought it also on the defensive end. And so, you know, with that though, unfortunately comes some foul issues. And you know, Zaitsev has 3 now, and Ayers has 3, and so they're really going to have to watch it from here on out because they cannot afford, especially the Pilots, cannot afford to lose Ayers to foul trouble.
Now it's the Braves with Zaitsev in the middle of the defense. Jackie fakes left, goes right, has that one blocked easily. Numbers for the Braves, Josh to Singletary. And there will be a foul as Pauian was the last man left back. So almost a good offensive play, but just ran into a 7-foot Ukrainian, and then Singletary does what he does on the fast break.
It was a good block attempt. I think he got him a little bit too much with the body. He went straight up, but I think he just got him a little bit too much. And Michael might have been smart and went into him as well to try to draw that foul.
Leading the game in scoring, Singletary now with 13 points. And he bounces in the second one.
Those baseball players look like they can play basketball as well, man. They got some nice skill.
Still in their zone defense as the Pilots have not exactly shown off good three-point shooting besides their imports. Jackie will have this tricky step back, but it's short. And here they come, Singletary getting around Jeff Ayers, too easy. And just like that, Caminos and the Pilots calling for a timeout.
Yeah, the Pilots need to take a timeout right now and regroup and talk about, especially on the offensive end, that ball is just not moving around against that zone from the Braves.
And that last play, Michael Singletary just beating Ayers with some speed, knowing that Ayers has the foul trouble and really couldn't contest that last shot too hard. But the big problem for the Pilots right now is they don't have a lot of three-point shooting out on the floor. Now, Sijingyao maybe not a prolific three-point shooter anymore, but he's at least willing to pull the trigger. But for example, the Jia Kang might be 29%, but only on 41 attempts during the season. Justin Lu Juxiang, as a higher volume as a shooter as he is, only 28% during the season, and most of the makes coming from the first half of the season. They can be looking to get back Zhang Zhenya out there, who's a 34% three-point shooter, even as a rookie, but I'm sure Caminos has his concerns about him defensively. And so, if you're the Pilots, you're really in a conundrum because the Braves hardly play zone at all in the first game, and now are playing it to a good effect in this second quarter.
Yeah, they've really shut down the outside shot of the Pilots. Right now, they're 1 for 10 from the three-point line, and so having to find somebody that can hit that. But I mean, the Pilots are still struggling against that zone, and they got to move that ball and quickly and rotate it around and get that defense shifted so they can. Even if it's to take a long two, just to get the open shot.
And on screen now is the PA about the Plus League 2023 draft, as we have some potential candidates in the stands. The expected draft date will be the second week of July, as that time Zaitsev stays behind to get the good contest, as Beast is in the game now. Jet will try the three, but it's off. The Pilots staying manned up on defense as Justin guarding Singletary. Going toward the middle, he'll get the bounce and the foul.
Yeah, I sort of feel like the momentum is shifting towards the Braves right now. You know, the Pilots came out well the first quarter, but now just the Braves are doing what they want to do on both ends of the court. It doesn't matter who's guarding who, they're having their will with them. So the Pilots, they really need to really get it together right now. They can't afford to get too far behind.
Got the free throw to go down two, so the lead for the Braves is now 6 points, as the Pilots have been held to just 2 on the quarter. They're only 1 for 9 shooting from the field, and they have the 2 Pong-Pong missed free throws as well. Justin get an open look, but that one's in and out. Jackie, give him credit, gets the board. Ayers with a catch and shoot, no good. Definitely got to feel that the Pilots are tight now on that end.
Yeah,
becoming a big problem. I almost feel like their defense is not the problem now, as a curious offensive foul called against Singletary.
They called it for the push-off? What?
Oh, the left arm.
Left arm, yes.
Kind of unlucky there. Just happened to put it on Jackie's head and neck area.
Yeah, I think Jackie got underneath it, and he just didn't have anywhere to put it. We've had a couple of those, like incidental, just happened to be where the arm or the leg is, fouls tonight.
Ethan kind of crashes into the Braves defense. Pilots ball on the baseline. The Braves get some substitutions going. Sure, happy for the Pilots. Michael Singletary will be going out.
It's a good thing for the Pilots right now to try to get back into the game, because he has been one of their main scorers towards the end of the first quarter and getting into the second quarter.
Nobody else has more than 5 as Justin goes. There's a foul called by the slot side official. Brendan Smart has definitely got to play through this game Try to maybe just focus on the fundamentals because that reaching foul into his area of the zone. Now Justin 0 for 7 though from the field in his start. 3 points all coming from the free throw line.
He has struggled on the shot, but at least he's been aggressive, taking it to the hole, drawing that foul, and then getting to the free throw line. Which he has been successful from, so that's a positive at least. You can look at that. He just needs to hit some couple shots here and get back into the groove.
Jimmy Shizong will make his first appearance on the floor tonight, having played just 3 minutes 46 seconds in his Braves playoff debut. I get a little extended look with Smart, not exactly in the flow of things. Hand off the screen, receiving a nice pass, but a travel called. Not exactly the best way to introduce yourself.
Maybe a little nerves there. He didn't expect to get that ball in the low post like he did. Nice little move, but he did walk.
A little bit of a stoppage as Zaitsev given a moment to lace him up again. Real important last bit of 5:30 in the game. Remind you that the first game, the second quarter, was Braves 32 to 14. So you combine 8 turnovers per team. 5 blocks for the Braves, none for the Pilots, as there's a foul on the shot. Sonny's kind of working against the weak spot of the zone.
Yeah, it's smart against that zone to find those gaps and shoot the gaps, and then as the defenders are coming up to guard you, just pull up for that shot. You know, on the zone there are several gaps around there, and he was able to find the top one.
Kini way short with his first free throw attempt. Four points, 4 rebounds, but 3 turnovers for Sankakini in his Plus League playoff debut. He does make the adjustment. His last game played was actually the last Pilots win, regular season or playoff, where he scored 15, had 15 rebounds, and the playoff clincher for the Pilots, in fact. Jimmy off of the slip pass from Beast, it was close.
That was a good look, and they're giving the rookie a fair share of his attempts at the basket, and so just get that nervousness out of him really quickly, and give him some good looks.
Jackie got the offensive board, but the Braves settling in their zone, beating the shot clock. Ethan at least put a shot up, but an air ball means a shot clock violation. You really can't put that on the rookie.
No, he just received the ball and he had to put it up. So
the Singletaries are right back out there. The Braves up by 3. So for maybe as well as they played in this second quarter, took the lead back, but not exactly run away with it. There's a mismatch down low. Zaitsev out to Jet, to KJ in the right corner, waiting for his shot up. And another miss. The Braves only 1 3-pointer made in the quarter as that one goes out of bounds.
Yeah, the Pilots just are not able to capitalize on the Braves' misses. They come down, and that's two bad possessions they've had in a row. And so, the possession before this, they almost had a turnover, and this one they actually had a turnover. And so, but they just got to really clamp down, and as we've talked about before, they just got to do the basic things, the fundamentals, and be smart.
Winston will check in the game. Here's perhaps the best Braves lineup.
There's a lot of experience in this lineup. When you look around, all 5 of them have playoff experience and championship experience. And so
Winston will miss his first shot as Andy, battling it down there, will finally pull down the rebound. And this might be a chance where the Pilots have an edge in the speed department as Ethan goes to the cup and scores.
That was a good look. He gave a little bit of change of speed and was able to cross him over and make the layup. So I think you're right. I think the Pilots do have a little bit more speed.
But Jet, though, not to be beaten as Winston fumbled the catch. Zaitsev catches shoot, and he ends the offer for the Braves outside on the quarter. Now they are 2 for 7. That was a good answer by the Braves.
The Pilots still struggling with that zone, not being able to get an open look.
It's Andy who puts up a shot, and Singletary will start the break. 2-on-2. Jack going to the basket and laying it in over and around. I think that was Justin on the back line.
That was a nice move by Jet. Just took it right at him and was able to use his body as a shield to defend off the defense by Justin.
A 5-point run. Braves lead back up to 6 as Pilots struggling to find some space. Ethan will try a 3, too strong. It looks Zaisev's way. Trying to squeeze his way, going baseline, forced into a miss. And the other way, Justin taking it until Jackie will finish on the reverse. Hopefully Ethan, or excuse me, Winston's all right, but it seemed like a bad decision by Justin there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was going up for the shot and then it just sort of got deflected over or what, but it worked out in the Pilots' favor. That's all that matters on the score sheet.
So 11 points for Jackie. Jock Conley's the leading scorer for the Pilots as Singletary called a foul, maybe a little bit late, but there was definitely a bump down low. Maybe some extra after-class questions by Singletary with the official before he steps up to the line. Ethan will take a seat. Mayo will take his place. The Pilots, if you want to ask about guys who've had some experience, Juan Dayo is a third-year guard, but he's seen his total minutes played actually decrease despite the Plus League season increasing. He was actually a starting guard for the playoff edition Pilots the first season, but struggling to find his way on the floor if they want to go with experience. Justin left open. He tries a 3 and swishes it.
Oh, Justin gets his first 3 of the game.
His first field goal, in fact.
Oh, yeah, first field goal, actually. That's an important one. Just brings him back up to 3, and with almost a minute left in this game, or half, this is an important shot.
Nice look by Beast as Jet gets the and one. Just like that, the veterans of the Braves not letting up.
Beast was looking for that backdoor cut by Jet and got him. Found him and he was fouled by Mayao.
Now Coach Roger calling the timeout. Maybe trying to bring out the best personnel. Want to maybe switch up the defense and increase the lead even more as we try to listen in.
Mike 这边，志杰这边，文球会在下面，可是要注意啊，球在这边，志杰上的时候 ，B 边，文球要过来 ，Mike protect pin。那如果球在这边 ，push to baseline， 这边来，志杰保护篮下，中线在这边 ，B 边哦，如果大脚传球中线要经过这边，传过去这边的时候，这个人要聪明一点，可不可以抄？ 这样子保护篮下，走一球试试看，因为我们刚刚2-3被投了，走一球1-3-1。进攻手 next 3 up， 杰哥来3 up， we go miss。文成，哎 ，Mike， we go 4 man， so yeah， so 3 Let you coming. Z.
Now, I don't know if we've seen this earlier in the game, but Coach Roger setting up a 1-3-1 zone with a forward left to protect the paint area down low. And then on offense, we've seen this a lot. Their 3-out offense. Try to throw a little bit wrench in the Pilots' plan with this jet free throw coming up first.
Yeah, it's maybe smart to just change up things and give a different look and make the Pilots adjust. We've seen earlier in the game that they've had some troubles adjusting whenever they've gone from a man to a zone, and so bringing out this 1-3-1 might be smart and might get a little bit of a momentum change for the Braves at the end of this quarter.
Get adjusted a little bit too much, short with the free throw. So the Braves lead is 5. They clear a 1-3-1 look. Now Winston on the back line. Jackie will float it up as Justin can't lock down the rebound. It's to Singletary. The Braves have a 2-for-1 opportunity.
The Pilots didn't pick up that 1-3-1, and so they played it as more of like a 1-2-2 zone. And on those 1-3-1s, you got to look for those short corners.
He's trying to put the moves on Andy, hesitates, now fires. It was close. Would have been a really pretty move there if he could finish it.
Almost the same move he did on the assist to Jet earlier with a little crossover, and instead of making the pass, he did take the shot. So beast is beast, and you've got to always be aware of him at all times.
1-4 look for the Pilots. 3-second shot clock, game clock difference as they say ball out of bounds off for the Pilots, though Caminos could issue his challenge if he'd like to. He was right on top of it after all. And he will issue the video replay challenge on the out of bounds. Now, the Pilots, certainly in their winning streak, were perhaps the best team executing out of set plays. Caminos want to reach into that bag. But looking at the game overall, so far, the Pilots 50% from 2, only 2 for 60 from 3, though. In their game 1 76-point effort, they only had a field goal percentage of 32. So theoretically, that was kind of bottoming out, because if you look at the history of the Plus League, the lowest scoring game of the season was set by the Pilots on January 28th, a little while ago, and the Plus League historic low at Hooping Gymnasium was 82 points by the Dreamers in game 2 of the finals. So just by the numbers, there should be an expected bounce back, but 35 points to end that first half, probably not going to cut it if you look at the bigger picture of things, though. You're only down by 5 with maybe a 5-second play left in the half. We'll see what kind of magic they can pull off.
Yeah, although they're shooting their two-pointers at 50% rate, you know, their threes are not, they're only at 12.5, 13%. So, you know, at that pace, you're just not going to be able to keep up, and especially if the Braves really come out and increase it or just maintain that intensity on the defensive end.
And after the video replay, it will be Braves basketball. So now Camino's having more of an argument with Winston, as you see. Beast was the Brave that got a hand in there. You can see what the referee saw. It might tipped off the fingers of Zhang Zhenyang.
Yeah, it looked like his fingers were moving on last on that ball tip.
Down to Beast, doubled. 3 seconds left. He got the pass off to Winston, hooking the layup, but unlike so many other magical trick shots by the captain, this one no good. And so the 5-point lead for the Braves will be what we head to the locker rooms with. But the Pilots may be playing a little bit better, but they still have a lot to figure out. Meanwhile, the Braves probably want to get their fast-paced game going in the second half. We'll take a break before breaking things down here at halftime in Hooping.
赛前一起投入的神预测，要来预测的是我们在首节得分最高的勇士球员，就是我们的麦克辛特利，所以投给麦克。没有，先别急着离开哦，我们请比尔来帮我抽出5位朋友，5位朋友可以获得由金色山脉所提供的顶级参选组。第一位1291，1291，1291。第二位1427，1427，1427。第三位0289，0289，0289。第四位4055，4055，4055。最后一位5862，5862，5862。请以上5位朋友赶快移动你的脚步到两边篮筐后方来集合，我们待会再来颁发奖项。刚刚有一位朋友很可爱，得奖的我觉得你都给我们，这样子没办法让你领奖啊，可惜了，下次再来。接下来我们赶快有请刚刚拿到球的朋友们，有8位朋友哦，赶快移动脚步来到两边篮筐后方集合。我们要来进行的是今天的丢丢包换礼。现在我们看一下，一共有4位嘛，还有缺，这边还有在移动，赶快。好，那我先请中间这2位来先放好，来帮我各就各位，在各个罚球线。好，第一回合的2位，好，先拿起跳绳。那其他参赛者仔细看哦，规则我一起讲解。好，拿起跳绳之后就在罚球线，不要超线，在罚球线后面。对，很好。那待会音乐在走的时候，请一直跳，一直跳，一直跳，跳回送，跳回用，可以吗？那一直跳完之后，音乐停，你才可以放下跳绳，拿起你前面的沙包，拿起你前面的沙包，有看到沙包吗？音乐停才可以拿哦，只有1次的投掷机会。我们待会音乐一停，我会说我要请大家投到 O 或是 N 或是 E， 就准备听我的目标，可以吗？然后我们要比的是谁距离我们的字板最近，或者是直接丢到它上面，就是获胜的朋友，了解吗？了解哈。好，各就各位，听音乐。1, 2, ready, go！ 用力跳，用力跳，加油加油！我也不知道怎么说会，反正就是加油，一直跳。哎，停了，赶快，我要哦！不可以往超线哦，来，加油，1次的机会。
It's a low-scoring affair between the Braves and Pilots, and what could we have expected anything else? Because this is the, for the most part of this regular season, the lowest-scoring series, and eventually the number 2 lowest-scoring series. Chen Ziwei and Tian Wenkui on the Mandarin broadcast. I'm Ryan, and Darren Portell joining me on this English broadcast. Of course, an important game for, of course, the Pilots, because the Braves actually are even better road team in the playoffs at 6-1, though they've dropped a couple games at home, game 1s in particular, to the Dreamers Pauian Hoping Gymnasium. There's the combined team statistics where the shooting is, well, left us wanting. But the Pilots have a little edge on the rebounding, though. You could also say they've given up some offensive rebounds too. The turnovers have not been a low number. Of course, a number of those have been passes out of bounds by the Pilots, and the Braves have a little edge in the assist departments. But one thing we know is the Braves will be playing more zone, and the Pilots will have to figure out how they're going to shoot from it or how they can get some little touch passing going inside as the Braves really settle in deep inside their own area.
Yeah, you know, the Braves are just changing things up on the defensive end, which is really confusing the Pilots, and so causing a little bit of chaos on their end. And you know, at this halftime period, they really have to go in and you know, illustrate what they want to do. If there's in a 1-3-1 or a 1-2-2, whatever defense that the Braves run, they need to know how to react and respond.
Just like the first game, Jeff Ayers hit an early 3, and then Justin, close to the end of the half, hit a 3, but the rest of the team are over, and even Zhang Zheng has not even gotten a shot off. And he was the player we kind of featured in the pregame, scoring 3 for 5 in his first playoff game. Impressive because He only did so 7 times in 33 games played during the regular season, of course. As the first overall pick, everyone expected a lot out of them. But the second thing we kind of talked about is who can really turn their stops into transition opportunities, because both teams are not shooting the ball at a high percentage. The Braves gotten a few fast breaks, including an impressive KJ to Josh full court pass. And the Pilots had a couple fast break opportunities of their own, but with such a low scoring affair, you would think that both teams would like to get to running a lot more, especially if the half-court offense would result in so many turnovers.
Right, you know, especially with the Braves sitting back in that zone and getting a little bit of rest, you would think that once they get that missed shot or the rebound, the defensive rebound, they're able to push the ball up. And, you know, both teams have had a little bit of success when they've done that. And so, you know, maybe we'll see that a little bit more.
The leading scorers for the Pilots with Jackie Lee Jiakang, 11 points. A lot of mid-range to even close twos. Justin Lujinshan with 7, Sonny and Jeff Ayers 5 apiece. And on the Brave side, Michael Singletary is definitely the one headache point for the Pilots. He's got 21. Jet and Zaisev with 6 apiece. Josh coming off the bench with 5. And Chen Xiangjun with only 2 points so far. Also with a little bit of foul trouble, but the Braves have a lot of personnel to maybe rotate around and let Chen Xiangjun kind of get some more instruction from the coaching staff on the bench before getting back in there for the second half. We'll go to another break before coming back to Heping Gymnasium.
嘉怡，中场时间欢迎来到我是神射手，想当神射手，这视力当然要好啦。那嘉怡的手上呢，这边有之前呢扭蛋很红，大家都很想要的勇士火焰球衣，但现在已经扭不到了。不过呢，有一个方式你可以获得，那就是来到了我是神射手的摊位，而且加入白兰氏健康 Mode 的官方 LINE， 以及购买白兰氏黑醋栗叶黄素，就可以直接获得。还不快点来摊位找我们玩耍？那接下来就将焦点继续回到比赛场上。
Welcome back to Game 2 between the Pilots and Braves. You have just about a minute to go before the start to the action, and it kind of flared up in the middle of that second quarter, but definitely should remind them, if they were so happy to be listening to the broadcast, that definitely need to have cool heads when you go through these playoff games, especially, at least in this game particularly, the imports, every one of them had maybe a bone to pick with somebody. But in a low-scoring affair with lots of fouls going for both teams, definitely don't want to put yourself in a disadvantaged position, especially when it comes down to closing time and you might be not available or some extra free throws and possession go the wrong way. Michael Singletary will be getting the highlight package as we get ready for the second half. 21 points. Had a couple of the threes that the Braves really sorely needed in this game, but of course, also a major threat, even in transition. He's fast enough to beat every import and strong enough to beat most locals when he's close to the hoop. Be a big problem point for the Pilots. They need to figure him out tonight and as long as the series will go, it seems.
Yeah, Singletary is just a player that when it's time, you know, crunch time, he's going to come out and he's going to play, and he's going to do the little things, he's going to do the big things, he's just going to produce for you. And You know, the Pilots are really going to have to really keep him, you know, under control, and as you said earlier, keep their tempers under control for both teams and just play smart. You know, this is important basketball. They're playing to get into the finals, and you don't want to take a risk of you know, getting a technical on a player and then that giving momentum to the other team. And so there's just a lot of things that go into those situations when players are constantly arguing and giving the refs a hard time.
Singletary, rather modest, 16 points, 10 rebounds in the first game of the series, 4 for 8 shooting the three. Was tied with Jet, who had 16 points as well. But overall, the Braves were spreading the wealth. 11 players scored in the game, en route to 94 total points on the game. Rather seems modest, but of course they held the Pilots to 76 points in the first half, only 35 points. We keep saying, we keep assuming, and don't want to be incorrect, I guess, about the Pilots finding the shooting touch, but so far through 3 halves, that's not really been the case.
Yeah, the Pilots have struggled, and even towards the end of the season, they've struggled a little bit shooting. And so, you know, this pressure by the Braves has really turned the Pilots upside down, and they're still looking for the shooter as they begin the third quarter.
Same starting personnel for both sides, with actually Josh and TJ in for the Braves, as Ayers putting the ball on the deck and then shooting the fadeaway, getting the roll. So again, Ayers getting the Pilots off to an optimistic start.
It's interesting to see the Braves come out in a man-to-man, though. They went away from that zone, and the Pilots were able to work against it.
Jack answers back with a jumper of his own. Ethan, handoff by Sonny, kicks it to Ayers. He'll try the three, short. This is the kind of opportunities we're talking about for the Braves. Fast breaks or a half transition, as Ethan hand caught in the cookie jar for the foul.
Again, just another silly foul that he needs to be smart. You know, get a hand in the passing lane, but don't touch him on the pass. You know, those silly fouls add up, and before you know it, you're in foul trouble, and they really need him out on the court right now.
13 fouls by the Braves, 15 by the Pilots. Only is a 5 free throw difference, but you don't want that to replicate and be 10 in the second half. So Okoye a little bit too strong with the three. The lead is 5 for the Braves as they look Jeff Ayers' way. The double comes early off of Ethan, who rotates to Sonny. Back to Ethan. Over to Jackie. Kicking it out. 5 seconds left. There is the shot finally, and it's Pauian to the rescue of the Pilots.
So another broken play almost, where they were just sort of moving the ball around, and Jackie fell on the pass, and Ethan was able to hit the three.
But here Zaisev, off just one pass, scores a three of his own.
So he wasn't going to be outdone by Ethan. He came through and one quick three, and he made it.
Ethan's got a mismatch. It's Pauian driving, kicking the defense. He make it 2 in a row. He does, and that's why they call him the Sun Chi Xiaobai, or incredible Xiaobai.
He may be the spark that they need right now, and so he needs to keep looking for that open shot.
I will openly admit that looks like a dumb foul by Jackie. 2 on the Pilots, none by the Braves.
That foul is way up high. There's nothing that he was going to be able to do out there. He's not going to shoot from out there, so just let him keep dribbling. As long as he's not driving to the basket, just let him keep going horizontal instead of vertical.
Now Zaisev with Ayers guarding will go to the left hook. A miss, and here come the Pilots on the run.
Ethan with the nice rebound and then taking it down into transition and setting up the offense. Got him on the inbounds, on the out-of-bounds line, stepping out.
Deng Xiangjun on the mismatch. Good catch by the referee then.
That was a good play by Jack to force him out of bounds on that defensive slide, and so using the line as a defender. Oh, there they get mixed up again.
This time it's Pauian trying to face guard Singletary, and now it's 3 Pilots fouls. And so those 2 early fouls, if you don't take those, this foul doesn't feel as bad, but it looks like Singletary was actually the one who started the hand fighting there.
Yeah, it looks like he got his arm wrapped and then just sort of fought him to draw the foul. You see that more and more in basketball these days. You get those arms wrapped up.
As Zaisev takes the elevator up.
Definitely just went by Sonny on that one for the dunk.
Now Sakakini trying to get position, but Zhenshan doing pretty good until Sonny goes baseline for the foul. So that was maybe, if you talk music terms, 2 good beats of defense, but a 3rd beat, not so much. There you see nobody on the back line to help. Easy dribble drive for Zaisev, who looks pretty spry after dealing with a bunch of injuries during the regular season.
I was just going to say, he looked young on that drive right there. And he even played a lot in their last game to be able to come out and have that spring in his step.
Sakakini rattling the first free throw. In the early part of the game, didn't say his name very much. Now with 7 points to go with 7 rebounds. And closing in the deficit to 2 points.
It's good to see the Pilots hanging in there. 3.5 minutes into the 3rd quarter, they're maintaining a small deficit, which is a positive for them.
Singletary slicing in and throwing it off the backboard. That was a fancy angle on that one.
Yeah, fancy angle, that's just strength right there, being able to get it in and almost underneath the basket with just a reverse.
As Ethan shows off the crossover and shooting it over Big Z's outstretched arms. So he's the hero for the Pilots in the early goings. 6 points to, and now, 8 points to his quarter, and almost getting, yes, he gets the stop on Jet, and unlucky with the ricochet there.
Well, they're turning this into an exciting basketball game, going back and forth, exchanging baskets, and both sides have started to increase on the defensive end and with the intensity, and the Pilots are not giving up in this one.
Over to Zaisev, who immediately finds Jet from 45, a splash from number 3. Looking the other way, Jackie taking on the entire Braves defense. And they swing it to Ayers, no with the answer. Little split action for the Braves as Jet feeling himself but missing the fadeaway. Ayers dribbles past a couple Braves.
The Braves are back into a zone now.
A bad pass by Pauian. 4-on-2 coming up. Here's Lane running as they get reset. Singletary tries a step back and it's wet.
Crossover between the legs, step back. Nice looking 3.
A classic.
Braves are back into the zone. Let's see if the Pilots can respond.
Immediately it's Jeff Ayers from outside, so the Pilots keeping pace. So you started to kind of think that they've been forced to so many one-on-ones. The crisp passing from the early parts of the season have really gone by the defenses making their adjustments. Zaisev on the flare screen to Jet. Another deep shot and another make for number 3.
Yeah, the Braves are definitely heating up, and the Pilots are going to get a timeout whenever they can. But they're hanging right in there. Keep looking for the open shots. The Braves are staying in the zone.
That's 5 points for Jet on the quarter. Of course, when it's Zhang Zhongxin, it's always a high difficulty. So with the 3 and a chance for the Braves to run. Pilots get back early enough, but now they need to match up. Singletary dancing and now flying away. Almost with it. Okoye a little too aggressive. Crashed into Ayers. Trying to make an argument, but he's definitely not going to win.
No, that was another clear foul. You know, nobody seems to be happy about a foul getting called on you these days. So they want to justify why they did what they did. And
our first break in the second half. The Braves up by 7. The second weekend of playoff basketball will move over to the lower seeded teams, with the Dreamers hosting the Kings on Thursday night and the Pilots hosting the Braves on a Friday night, needing victories to extend this series. In the early goings, Ethan Pauian getting the scoring going for the Pilots. 8 points to his name in the quarter, but not to be outdone. 5 Braves with 5 points. Jet, Michael Singletary, and Igor Zaysev pitching in. There you see, before the stoppage, the zone defense by the Braves, and then Josh crashing into Ayers. The Braves want to consider a change in personnel. One thing that Caminos love to do, like a lot of coaches do, is tighten up the rotations in the third quarter. Right now, Justin is in for Hwang Oh-han, who's played poorly through this game.
Yeah, the Braves are coming back into another zone, and the Pilots have maintained everybody except for Justin, and so making a slight adjustment, try to find the holes in this zone.
Little bullet pass goes away from Ayers as Toshang Ju slams it with one hand, but too many steps on the shuffle. So dramatic, exciting, but a bucket that won't count.
It's nice to see him smile after the call instead of arguing with the ref. So, but it looked pretty, but unfortunately he's got that extra step.
Really a break for the Pilots as they coughed it up and gave the Braves a fast break opportunity.
Yeah, once again, the zone of the Braves is causing the Pilots some issues. You know, the Braves came out in a man-to-man, and the Pilots were able to score, but now they've gone back to a zone, and they're struggling a little bit.
To the corner, Ethan will try a jumper. Ayers. Air balls go to the offense and immediately turns it into free throws for himself.
The bigs for the Pilots are going to have to get into the paint on this zone and be ready for the rebounds. They can't stay on the outer edge. They have to get that into the short corners and shoot up to the rim on the shots and have a better chance of getting those rebounds.
Sonny was 2 for 2 on the quarter, and now Ayers 1 for 1 as there's a lot of talking going on.
They are talking a lot.
The ref not exactly between the two and not doing a good job shutting the two players up, as we need to apologize for our upcoming FCC violations and fines.
Yeah, here we were talking about cooler heads, and now they're just, the referee needs to say something to both of them. Maybe
referee's called over by the scorer's table.
You can still hear them down there chatting to each other, giving niceties. And wonder if they're talking about what they're going to do with each other after, after the game tonight. Go out for dinner, or I highly doubt it.
In fact, the scorer's table trying to get the official attention about some procedural situations going on with the substitutions. We've been informed by our colleagues at Momo. In the end, just a made free throw and a lot of breath. So for Ethan's effort, he'll be taken out, though he definitely could restore his energy bar for later part of the game where the Pilots will need him again.
He did come out and hit a couple shots and keep the Pilots in it. So his presence was definitely felt for the Pilots on the offensive end. And let's see that the Pilots can maintain that without him in the game.
Missed by Beast as the Pilots want to cut down on this lead. Sonny shot fake, but faked himself out of an opportunity. So they'll reset, 10 seconds on the clock. Justin faked the drive and then pulls up for the shot. What a beauty. And the Pilots deficit down to 2.
Yeah, that was a nice little fake by Justin on the drive, dribble drive, and then step back and this nice little open three. He gained a little space with that fake and was able to finish.
Mayo helps. And so Sonny left on a Singletary will try from 3. No good, and the Pilots successfully defend the rebound. Chance to tie or go ahead as Beast smacks it out of bounds.
Well, if the Braves stay in the zone, it's good for the Pilots to push the ball up and look for the big in that post, in the low post. And so, they were able to do that time, and they were able to, even though the ball was out of bounds, they're going to get the ball out of bounds for a throw.
Quickly down low, it's Ayers slipping behind. And again, it was Beast who let him in as they covered up everybody else.
Yeah, the biggest guy out on the floor, they missed matching him up.
Jed finally pulled off with a missed jumper. Ayers will join the fray, but Justin attacking with some momentum, stopped by Smart as the double comes over. Not a lot of other shooting threats, so Sakakini will try. And Justin will win a possession for the Pilots, with the ref saying Smart was the last to touch it. And kind of out of Brendan Smart's control, but theoretically, tough game for him. There you see maybe creative passing by Jackie to get that assist. And previously, well, there could be some hand contact if you're a Braves fan. Looking to the corner, Justin getting hot. It's the Pilots now up by 3 on the inbound to the corner.
Yeah, so the momentum has changed just a little bit, and the Pilots have jumped up by 3 and played well. Got a turnover there
on the poor handoff. Little momentum, 69 taking the 3 and a little bit of a heat check, and it's turning into a Braves fast break. Beast spin move, then running into Ayers. No favoritism from the refs there, as now the Pilots settle down.
Well, it's smart just to get back into your offense. Ooh.
And that with that 3, Ayers sends the Braves to their bench. So 2.5 minutes to go. It's the Pilots jumping out with a little bit of luck, shall you say, but then of course they got to hit the shots, which they've done here. And just like last night, where the road team found a lot of momentum out of the halftime talk, is happening again here in this series.
Yeah, the Pilots came out and they're hitting their shots, and they've talked their way back into a 6-point lead, and so hopefully this momentum is not, is something that they can, keep going throughout the end of this quarter and into the fourth quarter.
而且你6球，龙志杰你要去走控球，关那个第一个只有麦克被打，如果去帮你在这边，麦克在这边，这个传球的人回头包，加手前进，只有麦克。当然我们是手配，手配的时候热狠了，你们4个被打，全部就配，自己不要。 自己走，其他手可以走。进攻枪4小1大，全部做到白赛。锋线来。
Based on what we've heard, it seems like Coach Roger preparing to give Justin the box and one treatment on the defensive end. And funny enough, we've kind of been waiting for it, and the Pilots are actually putting on the offensive show and forcing the Braves to scramble a little bit on the defensive end. 28-17 on the quarter with 2 minutes to go, as this is the highest scoring quarter, for the Pilots in this series through 6 and part of one quarter, as you see the highlights of number 69, including really shouldn't happen, but that last one on the baseline out of bounds, and the Airs sending the Braves to a timeout with that three-pointer made. I always kind of wonder which players will do better when playing angry or playing mad, and Airs proving he can.
Yeah, those players that can do it, you can be a little bit intimidating and get that motivation behind that. And unfortunately for the Braves, they've not used that, all that talking to motivate them, and so they've seemed to be flat here after all that discussion was happening, and the Pilots seem to be gaining the momentum.
Zaitsev unable to hit on the three, as a little bit more of a man look instead. Zhangzhenya puts the trigger three off to the right. Rebound tracked down by Singletary. Winston, Beast, and Jet in, as Zaitsev will try another one and unable to hit again.
Yeah, so the Braves they're basically playing the way that the Pilots did earlier, where they're taking a quick three and not really getting into the offense and working it around.
69 again, but in and out. So the Braves have gotten away from double teaming, but leaving a shooter open. So number 12 guarding number 12, as Beast putting on the moves, but giving it up. Winston given a lot of space, leaves it short, and charges into a foul. The Braves did have a foul to give, but probably don't want to do it 90 feet from your basket you're defending.
Right, you got a minute and 10 seconds left. They need to continue to play smart. The Pilots do, and the Braves need to play smart as well. And I think in the last couple minutes they've not done that, and they've lost the lead and they're down by 6 now.
There you saw the shooting splits on the quarter. Pilots above 50%, Braves at only about 35%. Down to Sunny with 3 coming over. Zhang Zhenya will fire away again, too strong, as a little scramble for the rebound, eventually secured by Jackie. Tapped out of bounds by Beast, reading the hammer play. But again, Zhang Zhenya has missed a couple open looks, but should not give up. He is form-wise the best three-point shooter for the Pilots.
The Pilots are being smart. They're rotating that ball and keep moving it around, and they're not just settling. And so they're keeping now the Braves on their toes and making the Braves work harder.
Off the bank, but here come the Braves on the run. Singletary beats Sakakini to the basket. So they cut the deficit down to 4 eventually, after finally holding down on that defensive end.
Well, the Pilots have accomplished what they needed to in staying in this game and actually getting the lead at the end of the third quarter.
Jackie couldn't get the layup on Beast, as Singletary trying to hold off Justin, flinging a pass, 3 seconds to go. Jet can't make it in, and that'll be the end of the third quarter, with the Braves making a teeny bit of a run there. But the Pilots have a strong quarter and will head to the fourth and final frame with the lead in this one, game 2. Trying to extend this series. We'll be back after these messages.
待会拍到的朋友，我们跟着杰哥还有凯杰手伸出来比个1，欢迎气量小子一起来为勇士加油！欢迎这位朋友手伸出来比个1，团结在一起，一起来为勇士加油！右手食指伸出来借给勇士，来喽，这位美女，跟着杰哥。还有凯杰一起比个1，小朋友挥挥手之外，爱心可以，比个1也可以哦，小朋友。欢迎这位杰哥的朋友，双手比个1，借给勇士，谢谢你。来喽，两位等很久喽，换你们喽！不要怀疑，就是你，手伸出来，团结在一起，为勇士加油！帅哥，上电视喽！这个表情非常好，不要害羞，两位美女。你们没有做错什么事，比个1好吗？
Maybe sneaking away from work a little bit too early for some of these fans on a Monday night. The Pilots playing the Braves here in game 2 of this playoff series. Now we just finished the third quarter where you talk about hard work and a little bit of luck mixed in there. They're paying off. The Taipei Fubon Braves 0 free throws on the quarters and 0 offensive rebounds. And meanwhile, the Pilots shoot what seems like an insane 15 three-point attempts, but when you hit on 6 of them, you probably don't feel too bad.
Right, you know, that's a good stat that you want, the 6, not necessarily the 15, but the 6 made, and it has turned the game around for the Pilots. And so, you know, that this is an important quarter, and they definitely don't want to go down 2-0 to the Braves, and so they need to maintain this intensity and keep making those open shots.
There's 2 early by buyouts and then 2 by errors, and probably if you're the Pilots fan, the happiest thing is 2 by Justin Lu Jingxiang, though still waiting on Mayao to knock down 1 on the game. Did take his first attempts. He's trying to trail college teammate KJ as he wildly banks in a runner. And taking a page out of his mentor's book, Hong Kai-jie gets the fourth quarter started for the Braves.
Sometimes they're falling, and you know, that one just nice little bank shot, had enough arc on it, and was able to put it in.
Ricochet off of KJ, they say, so 8 seconds for the Pilots to get a shot up from three-quarter court, but theoretically good defense. He picked up the dribble, took a step in, and that should count for 3, in fact.
That was way behind the line for a 3. Not even close.
So the referees will actually go to the video monitor right away, but a chance, I guess, either for the Braves to savor this momentum on that miraculous shot, or for the Pilots to maybe regroup. Of course, they got to change personnel, as in the fourth quarter, only 1 import allowed on the floor. The Pilots going with Sunny Sankakini with maybe Ambi playing power forward, and the Braves have Zaitsev at center. Maybe they're going to play 4 small around him in the zone.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how each team comes out, and you know, see if the Braves change it up a little bit on the defensive end now that they have some time to talk about it and see how they want to play, or is he drawing up a play when they're on offense to come down and get a you know, an easy bucket. And so it'll be interesting to see how each team comes out.
Some Hong Kai-jie fans sitting nearby. Zhenzi University, if we get to finish a note about that, currently has 7 players at the pro level. KJ, Andy, and Zhang Ziya in this game. It all started with Tian Hong with the Lioneers, who signed with them as, at the time, a free agent because there was no draft in the Plus League. But then the next year, Omar and Zheng Yuhao and Wang Zhengyuan were drafted by the first 2 by the Kings and Wang Zhengyuan by the Dreamers. And now the Braves issuing their challenge about the out of bounds. Initially called for the Pilots, though it certainly looked like KJ was the one that forced it loose. So the referees should be given credit for a tough call here, because this is one of those out of bounds and back courts, but maybe they think it's off of the shin of Jackie.
Yeah, you know, these big main plays, you got to give it to the refs, though, because sometimes these plays are hard to tell, especially if it's a deflection or like that. You know, depending on what spot you're on the court as a ref, it's hard to tell if that was a deflection off the shin or whoever had possession in their hand last.
Maybe the Braves playing a little soccer on the off times, maybe making the argument that if the ball comes off with so much momentum, it's got to come off somebody's lower extremity.
Right, so much momentum, and even in the way that it's going a downward or upward direction, and so there's different things that you can definitely plead your case on.
An extended conversation for both teams to their players. We're only 41 seconds, excuse me, into the quarter. Interesting enough, the Pilots' hottest shooting game against the Braves was their victory here, where they were 15 of 37. Jackie Li Jiakang maybe sent to the bench after Caminos kind of figuring out, want some different personnel out there. But we've had plenty of stoppages in the game, and don't know if it's helping or hurting the scoring flow for both teams.
Well, with the stoppage, you know, you can make a little bit of adjustment, get some guys out there that maybe needed to rest, even though this was the beginning of the fourth quarter. And
presumably not enough evidence to overturn, so both teams have been unsuccessful with their first challenges and will have no more for the rest of the way. Everything needs to be initiated by the officials now, as Justin gets a step and will lay it in, slicing through the defense.
Yeah, it was a smart play by Justin, you know, him being aggressive again. I think, you know, that's one of the major ways he got his 20 points last night, with drives to the basket, and so he's continuing that aggressiveness.
Big Z in the right place at the right time with the lucky 2. Sakakini hands off to Justin with the rest of the squad on the far side. Down to Sunny. They whip it around, but the Braves match up, as now Andy got a step. They'll call it travel.
Andy got a little bit of happy feet on that play and was just moving his feet before he was able to dribble. And so that matchup zone caused a little bit of issues for the Pilots.
Well, there you saw, actually nobody blocked out Zaitsev, who snuck in. KJ from the jump circle with Zhang Ziya chasing him, and now switch on to Andy, and he'll be called for the travel.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bumping in there, which is causing a little bit of issues for the point guards, and so that bump, I think, set him off balance a little bit. He took an extra step.
So 2 Zhenzi University players committing easy violations. How could you, Zhenzi Wei? He has several other players who have pro aspirations, will likely be entering this draft, as Sakakini throws an awkward pass off of the feet of Ethan. And the spacing for the Pilots in this quarter has been not ideal.
Right, you know, again, you got to do the fundamentals, you got to do the basics right. It was like a no-look pass almost, and so he passed it to his ankle and not his hand.
KJ, after the clutch, will lay it in. No travel there as he scores on Li Jiakang back in the action.
Okay, so let's see how the Pilots respond. Now they're down by 1, and they've not played the best at the beginning of this fourth quarter.
Sakakini high rainbow, but too strong. He's not exactly found the shooting touch. After we mentioned a lot of break in the regular season as TJ follows it up with an and one. It's the Braves now up by 3 with a free throw coming up.
Yeah, I think the Pilots need to look at the personnel they have on the floor and maybe make some slight adjustments.
And Hamby a step too late to come with the help. There's a couple lay-ins for the Braves. Have really grabbed hold of the momentum of the game.
You know, those 2 drives right there could be momentum changes for this game. Especially if the Pilots are not able to hit a shot in the next 2 or 3 possessions. The Braves are back to man-to-man defense, running their motion offense.
Ethan, a step on Zaisev out the Pauian. His fired shot too strong, and now Jackie jumps in there with a foul, and another whistle's coming from somewhere else on the floor. It's only the first, or now second foul for the Pilots. But Marley Caminos calling a timeout as it's been all Braves in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, the Pilots ended the third quarter nicely, but have not done well in this fourth quarter.
We'll be back after this.
暂停时间到。
So the Braves in the fourth quarter are getting that scoring going from KJ and TJ. There's the miraculous step in 3, then a couple layups, including Jian Ting Zhao getting the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. And the Braves, just after we gave the Pilots their compliments for the third quarter, the Braves jump out with a 10-2 run in the fourth.
It's nice that the Braves are able to do that with Singletary on the bench and not having to look to their imports for scoring. And so the local players are really stepping up and producing shots for themselves and being aggressive on the drives. And the Pilots now are going to have to withstand this and come back and hit some shots.
KJ again probably got away with a travel there as Tokwe with a hand in his face, but that one dances off the rim. But a stop for the Pilots, and now they have a chance to show off what Caminos drew up in the huddle. Braves kind of zoned up there with Zaisev controlling the back line. There's at the high post, but nobody really joining him at the high post. Now 3 seconds left. Ethan firing the deep range 3. KJ comes back for the rebound, but another stop for the Braves as now KJ fires away at a clank.
Yeah, the zone of the Braves is starting to cause the Pilots some trouble again. Hamby is really working hard down in that low post to get positioning, and they're just not getting the ball.
Now given a step, Ethan actually shy. Driving kick, Pauian Flings it to Andy and a shot clock violation as this Braves defense is really becoming an all-switch defense, and the Pilots have nobody really proving to be enough of a penetration threat. 18 turnovers to 11 on the game.
Right, against this zone, you're going to have to rotate that ball quickly, look to shoot the gaps, and then kick it out. And so they're not really doing that. They're holding the ball too long, and it's enabling the Braves to switch and really cause trouble for the Pilots.
Pull up 2 for TJ and an excuse me foul. We've said that plenty of times this game, but that's what's going to happen when you have a lot of missed shots and a lot of rebounding opportunities. So 1 foul for the Braves on the quarter.
And a lot of those rebound opportunities are going long, and so when the guards are coming up with those rebounds, free throw line extended out, and you're going to have those oops kind of fouls also.
Screen by Ayers, though. Chen Xiangjun comes over for the switch. Pauian drive and passing, but now choosing to shoot. A little bit of a miracle shot on his own part, but that one only counts for 2. So finally stopping the Braves scoring run. Quickly to Josh, hesitates, now into contact. They say it's clean, and here come the Pilots. Back to Ayers, he'll try from 3, again too strong.
Yeah, the Pilots are taking that quick shot again. Maybe they need to just stop and work the ball around, but then again, we've seen them try to work it around, and it's not working either. So
foul first, but then Ayers and Zaisev get tangled up after the foul. Really a lot about nothing going on.
Again, cooler heads need to prevail, and too many times it's over silly little things like that. After the foul, somebody has the ball, and you knock it out of their hands, or they go for a fake shot, and they don't want them to shoot it or whatever. So it's just like,
well, the referees will actually go to the monitors, so in this case, I don't really know who's in bigger trouble, because obviously, like you said, Ayers came down with a hand. So, I mean, if that early foul wasn't called, that could be a late foul. But then you're Zaisev turning around and taking exception to the action previously. You got to remember, we're only a 2-point game with 6.5 to go.
Yeah, and I think earlier in the game, too, when the referee was letting them talk at the free throw line, you got to put a stop to that. You got to take control, and as a referee, just let them know, hey, I'm the one in charge. I'm not going to let you do this, because it could lead to things like that just happened here between Zaitsev and Ayers. And so, hopefully they just calm down and there's nothing really out of it, and they're able to continue on.
Again, these 2 players in particular might not be in foul trouble. Ayers with 3 personal, Zaisev with 3. And team foul wise, there's 3 team fouls for the Pilots, 1 for the Braves. But if you get called for an unsportsmanlike 2 free throws and possessions in a game that's only 2 points right now, that could be a huge swing.
Yeah, that can be a huge swing of momentum, especially if you're able to hit the free throws and then, get a basket after that. That's a 4-point swing, within just a couple seconds. But it looks like there's no call on both sides, and we'll just continue to play.
A backcourt violation and a rather rare mental mistake, but you could kind of look at the personnel and think, oh, it's only the Braves kids out there. So the foul by the Pilots doesn't hurt them. Get another look at what was going on. It was Jackie who was kind of in the neighborhood. Referee say he didn't touch the basketball. Almost on a broken play. Pilots get an open shot. Lee Jiakong, and he overshoots it.
Yeah, so the Pilots have gone cold again now. They had a good look, and they're just not able to finish on the 3-point line. And Justin's back in the game, and so maybe he can get a look.
To TJ in the corner. But a good hand as that forced the miss. But Zaitsev, they say, touched it out of bounds. The Braves don't have a challenge themselves, so we're going to need another referee with a different take on it, but they're headed the other way.
Let's give it a look and see.
He was definitely the one who was smacking at it out of bounds, so it'd be kind of lucky if he hit it off Andy. So the Pilots with possession. Jackie, Braves fans thinking he got away with a carry. More swiping as it sounds like, yeah, we'll have that one blocked. Working with Zaitsev on the ball screen. Amdi switched off. They switch it all around though as KJ will fire away. Off one leg, he scores again from 3.
That was a good look for KJ. He was out, and the defensive man did not step out on him, and he was able to take that shot and hit another 3. So put the Braves up by 5.
As Justin leans in for the lay-in, so a quick counter by the Pilots. Still down by 3, but that's exactly what they've been needing in 2 games, is Justin to really step up when it really counts, and he's their star on the team. KJ feeling it, banks it home.
He is definitely feeling it now. He's starting to get that confidence. He's getting it. He's finding the openings, and he's taking it. There's no hesitation in that shot at all.
A little bit of a stoppage as you see KJ with 11 points on the quarter. We're looking at the box score, kind of curious as to how come he only played 11.5 minutes in game 1, but he's definitely earned his spot in this game.
He will keep his spot on the court as long as he keeps shooting like that and playing well.
Fans getting into it now as Andy picked from behind, but Pilots hang on, airs. Little shot pop, and because of the air ball, it's going to be a shot clock violation.
Yeah, that's what, the 3rd shot clock violation, I think, on the Pilots tonight, and so they're working that shot clock down, but they're just taking too much time. They have 3 violations in one night. That's
that one you could probably say if Ayers got it off the rim, Andy would have had, he was in great position, but because it was an air ball.
Yeah.
And Zaitsev, because he spun around, will be called for the illegal screen. That's tough to take, but Zaitsev heading down with his team. But that's kind of the key that all the players are kind of educated on, is there has to be contact when you think a guy is moving on the screen. So Zaitsev now with 4 personal. So in a little bit of trouble as immediately KJ follows it up with a foul on Zhang Zhenya.
So the Braves now with 4 team fouls, and the Pilots with 3. So the next Braves foul, the Pilots will be shooting.
Kind of turning around that early foul count.
Right.
Zhang Zhenya feeling it, but again, too strong. Long rebound to Jackie. Out of a scramble play. Lai Ting-eun's in there for defense. Putting his head down and stuffed by Zaitsev. Here come the Braves. But Lai Ting-eun stopped in the backcourt. They get it over the timeline. Now it's funny enough, Zheng Xiangjun, the local big, trying to calm things down, but almost throwing it away. Josh got the switch. 4 seconds left. Forced 3 by Zheng Xiangjun, who finishes it off, and now it is a 9-point Taipei Fubon Braves lead.
Yeah, if you look at the personnel for the Braves, this is a positive for them. They've got the younger guys in, and they're able to keep the lead and actually extend it. And so giving Singletary and those Jet and Beast a little rest on the bench. And so if you're a Braves fan, that's definitely a positive. But if you're a Pilots fan, that's a negative, because this is the time that the Pilots should be able to come in and and hold their own.
There was Jackie Lee Jiakang, who was blocked at the rim, and then you thought Zhou made a big mistake there, but Zheng Xiangjun bailed him out with that deep three. No backboard on that one. And so with 3 minutes to go, it's the Braves youngsters who poured it in on the scoreboard, and for the Pilots who've struggled to score all series, finally breaking it open in the third quarter. Now major problems on both ends of the floor. They've not gotten open shots, and when the Braves got stops, they've had KJ with his miracle shot, and that last one, Zheng Xiangjun, who can't shoot the three, though of course that's not their first option.
Yeah, you know, the Pilots now, they have 3.5 minutes. They're really going to have to just go all out and play hard defense and look for the open shot. You know, the last possession they had, it was sort of a scrambled possession, and, you know, it just didn't look well. And so they've had a couple of those tonight where they've just not handled the ball, or they've not gotten into the offense, and they've just sort of went off the cuff, and it doesn't work very well for them. So they'll take 3.5 minutes, take this time out, set an offense up, and play smart.
So Zheng Xiangjun had a kind of a rough start to this game, but kind of jumping in there late, having a laugh with his former college teammate from way back when on Fubon. Two of them becoming pros the same year, but Justin going to the SPL, Zheng Xiangjun coming over to the Braves. They rotate around, he's open, fires away, but blocked by Zheng Xiangjun. And so Jack, after the three-pointer, has a block on the perimeter, and what was an open three, a decent setup by the Braves, as there's a tricky pass by KJ. Numbers for the Pilots, they need to answer quick. Lai Tian got his hands in there, and now on the ground, picks it up. One man to beat. Jeff Ayers can't get it home, as the cherry pick layup by Zhou Guoyu. 2.5 to go, an 11-point lead, looking insurmountable now.
And how many times have we said, you know, just keeping control of the ball and maintaining possession, keep those turnovers down, and the Pilots just have not been able to do that this fourth quarter. And you know, there was some concern that this was going to happen with the personnel that they had, that they couldn't maintain the shooting percentage that they had, and so. You know, they have 2.5 minutes now to get back into this game.
Well, in the fourth quarter of game one, of course, already a bit down by a big margin, they committed 5 turnovers. In a close game, they've committed 5 turnovers on the quarter. Finally quieting things down is Justin with a right side 45 three. He's got 20 again, but 4 for 13 is a little bit more palpable for the advanced analytics teams for the Pilots, as Lai Tian shaking and baking. Unlucky bounce off the hands of Andy out of bounds. That was a stop they really needed after the score.
Yeah, they needed that possession. After Justin made that shot, he was telling his teammates, give me the ball, you know, I want to shoot. And unfortunately, the ball was just tipped out of bounds on the rebound, and now it goes back over to the Braves.
So now Roger wants to bring in Jet, though. Zhou Guoyu looks gassed as he heads to the bench. After Lai Tian with a Spain pick and roll coming around. He's touched, and the referees look like they absolutely miss a call.
Yeah, they either missed it or they just said there was not enough contact.
Well, contact after the shot maybe, though. Theoretically should be counted, and Ethan looks like he got away with one.
Yeah, I'd say he definitely gave him a clap on the elbow on that shot.
And rightfully so, the Braves are unhappy because Lai Tian commits a foul on Ethan going the other way, though you consider a marginal contact on the defensive end. And well, with less than 2 minutes to go, a couple free throws coming up for the Pilots. Could keep this interesting.
Ethan with his first make, puts him down by 7.
Also has 5 assists to 2 turnovers on the game.
They're definitely not out of it. They just need to really buckle down and play smart and not too over aggressive, but just bring that keep that intensity level up. Do a little semi full court pressure. Just let them know they're there.
Justin guarding Jet way outside as Taoyuan. The Zaisev deflected pass. Picked up by Ayers on the back line, so the Braves get a set of their half-court defense. Pilots, you don't need to hurry, but you definitely got to take a high percentage shot here. Taoyuan applying a lot of pressure on Ayers as nobody else has found the touch. Jackie just lucky to hang on to that possession. Again, it's just 2 Pilots playing by themselves, and so all the Braves defense can really crowd them, and the rest of the team is left just occupying a little bit of space in the opposite corner.
Right.
Horrible spacing.
Yeah, they're just not, and there's no movement by the, you know, the players that aren't involved in the play, and so it's easy for the Braves to guard those 2 men. And every drive, every situation, they're slapping, they're trying to reach in for that ball, which is being difficult.
那个停一下，你走6球，你们2个人6球走谁？谁打控球？二力赛接到控，6球走谁？二力赛控，谁打这边？打到1号，二力赛自己来挡，不要以立功会，假的，祥军 player。 不给，最后进到海比跟落，最后进到红子的皮跟落，最中间6球走你，接下去魏桂宇走你，一样走艾尔斯那边，艾尔斯走谁？走这一边走，自己后卫输入，祥军后卫怕，好吧？哎，弯上。
So Roger making 69 of the Pilots focus on the defensive and offensive end, but the 4th quarter highlight package belonging to KJ Honkai 4 for 5 from the field to 11 points, giving the Braves this early cushion before the rest of the team has really stepped up on the defensive end as well. Coming over from the Kings in the trade for Joseph Lin. Of course, don't forget Steve-O, Zhang Wenping, and the first-round pick of the Kings this year going to the Braves as well. But on this night, KJ is right now the shining star out there. Out of the baseline. Ethan to inbound. Jackie in the far side corner, loose with the dribble, and that ball will go out of bounds off of a Pilot, they say. And Jackie trying to wait for the review, but Caminos without an available challenge to his name, to the mercy of the referee's review, and it will be Braves basketball after a successful stop.
You know, having KJ come out and play well this quarter has been a plus for the Braves. He only had 4 points the other night, but him come out and hit the shots like he has definitely been a bonus for the Braves.
Ethan playing aggressively as takes the 4th foul by the Pilots as a team. Really have the right idea to play aggressively, but now they have to play it cleanly.
Yeah, you don't want to get that 5th foul and put him on the feet.
Ayers a little bit too physical. They just call a common foul, and he'll send Chen to the line.
Out of the 5 personnel out that you have out there for the Braves, if you're the Pilots, who would you want to foul in this situation? And so
I don't know if Chen is exactly the best option, though. He's not exactly been as tested in the playoffs until last year, later against the Lioneers.
That's definitely not a harder foul as he reacted to it. So just a normal common foul.
Perfect first free throw by Chen Xiangchun, who's actually 69 for 94 in the regular season, or about 73%.
Yeah, so definitely you do not want to be fouling him.
Too strong with the second, but Zaisev chases down the rebound. We're glad blockout efforts by the Pilots. Running low on time though, Jet dancing, taking a tough fadeaway, in and out and in again. Back to a 9-point lead. Desperation time as Jackie misses a three and the Braves swing it around. About ready to play keep away now as they're ready to head to their 2-0 series lead. Zheng not given any pressure, so no 5-second count. JJ, fancy pass as Zheng Xiangjun almost gets a miracle lay-in. And the Pilots, with no sense of urgency, might just dribble this one out. So somehow, after 76 points the previous game, 74 in this game, an even lower scoring total, but the Pilots play with a much more healthy effort on the defensive end and with their energy, but in the end they succumb to the Braves' youth movement, in fact, in this game. It was, of course, KJ with the scoring, but really in that fourth quarter when they switched everything, created all kinds of havoc for the Pilots after getting ready and geared up to go against the Brave zone defense. So they really right now feel outmatched out there in the series, but they're heading home for what hopefully will be a better result for them.
Yeah, as you said, the Pilots just came out on that fourth quarter and were just overmatched. And, you know, the Braves made the adjustments they needed to, and it set the Pilots on their heels, and they just weren't able to respond to the changes of the Braves. And unfortunately, you know, even though they played well at times, they were not able to pull out the victory.
So we're headed to嘉怡, who's courtside with our post-game interview.
嘉怡在场边访问到的是祥军哦。首先要先恭喜富邦勇士赢球，也取得了系列赛的听牌优势。我们再度恭喜富邦勇士。好，那嘉怡在这边想要问祥军的是，今天的比赛可以说是惊涛骇浪，不到最后一节真的是难以分出胜负。包括了第3节领航员的外线狂轰18分，末节呢勇士可以说是全员都跳了出来，祥军的部分也扮演很重要的角色。首先，是不是跟我们谈一下这场比赛？
As for his comments on the game.
前面做的防守其实还是没有很好，然后就多亏下半场，然后可能这几个我们年轻的，然后投进3分，然后维持比赛这样。
对，没有错。其实末节勇士可以说是抵住了压力，包括了祥军，包括了凯杰单节冠进了11分。那在祥军的部分，你在末节的3分31秒的外线，帮助了球队拉开了9分的差距，甚至是一路的慢慢的要回领先。谈一下你今天的表现以及跟队友的配合。
其实今天表现其实普普通通啊，就只是刚刚那个灌篮就是走步，我觉得比较可惜这样。
哇，好啦，那恭喜富邦勇士取得了听牌的优势。今天是礼拜一的下班日，还是有非常多的勇士的粉丝穿着冠的应援 T 来到了现场。有没有什么想要跟大家说的？
超级感谢，就是全部人都穿白色，然后帮我们加油，然后爱你们，爱你们。
哦，爱大家啦！那当然，勇士接下来是要继续加油喽。那我们谢谢祥军。
Saying he loves the fans out there, and thanks to Zheng Xiangjun for joining our post-game coverage. He's got a little bit something else to do with the Braves, but we'll throw it to a break, and when we come back, we'll break things.
BG2 别急着离开哦，想要祥军的签名球，请留步。好来，祥军准备出发喽，4个角落都帮我照顾一下。还有2边。 最后一个，再次掌声送给曾祥军。好了，这是手中的礼物也送给大家喽。最后，我 我们不要保留任何礼物，送给你们。再一次掌声，谢谢各位！今天一起来到和平篮球馆，一起陪伴勇士完成第2件事情，也希望你们可以将掌声送给辛苦的比乌尼应援团队，还有我们的Fubon。接下来5月26号的客场，就要麻烦大家去客场一起为勇士完成第3件事啦！大家晚安，拜拜。
下次勇士主场见哦。回家路上小心，下次主场见。
The final score is 83 to the Braves, 74 to the Pilots, and another low-scoring affair. And the result is the Braves, for a second year in a row in the first round, taking a 2-0 lead, but this time at home. Now heading on the road, as the next game on the Plus League playoff schedule is the Kings versus Dreamers in Taipei on Thursday night at 7 p.m. The Dreamers trying to extend that series and get themselves another home game. The Kings trying to sweep and get ready for the finals early. Well, back on the game, the biggest thing we kind of talked about pregame was Sonny Sakakini being activated, but he wasn't exactly the savior for the Pilots. Certainly had high expectations for him and his basketball acumen, 7 points, 9 rebounds, but committed 5 turnovers and definitely looked a little bit out of sync and looked a little bit rusty. But thankfully for the Pilots, they had other players step up. Of course, Lu Junxiang came out with another 20-point effort, and early it was Li Jiakang or Jackie, and in the second half it was Ethan Bialton who came out to score, but in the end it was not enough of a complete game from beginning to end for the Pilots.
Yeah, the Pilots, as we said early in the game, they were going to have to be able to produce a solid 48 minutes, and they just weren't able to do that, and so the fourth quarter was really a strain on them, and they just didn't have the personnel to finish strong.
But on the Braves side, I feel like what we can comment on their credit is their defensive playbook is almost too deep for the Pilots. So they'll have a few days to figure it out before they play again on Friday in Taoyuan. So thanks a lot, Darren.
Thank you, Ryan.
On behalf of the 6 teams in the league and league operations, we thank you for watching. See you in the next one.